What do we got today? We got ourselves Team 1 with Warport as a Warlock, already utilizing some of the customizations, I think. The beard is maybe new. We got ourselves... What is his name? Des? I'm going to call you Des. Like Tess, but with a D. We got Lenoa back here as a Warlock with... what is your... Poe. We're going to call him Poe just because that's the first two letters. And Mary versus Kragar and Nissim on Team Kragar. We're going to have Kata go up first with, we got in the back, Drag. We got ourselves Dream. And we got ourselves Chelovich. Human? No, we're going to call him Human because Chelovich... Humanity? I think it's actually Humanity. Human. Humi. We call him Humi maybe. But it's going to be Cat first up, and the Team 1 has no idea who's going to be going on first. It looks like it might be Poe, the Demon Hunter. It looks like the Demon Hunter. Maybe, maybe not. I think it's still trying to figure out who's going to be first, who's going to be next. Potentially. Maybe. I guess we'll... What? Oh. Let's see. Oh, the Rogue maybe? Yes. Okay, well, let me go over the duels rules again. Be sure to be out of stealth unless you're dueling, out of forms unless you're dueling. Warrior buffs, mage buffs, priest buffs can be shared. Warlock households can be shared. Mage food can be shared. And I think that's about everything that I need to worry about. But it's going to be Cat getting hit with a sap as he was waiting out for Des. Des opening up as an Assassination road into a rupture on the side, going for a cheap shot, maybe a shot to follow. Gonna be the, actually it's a Boomy. I was thinking for some reason Cat was gonna end up playing Feral, but it's gonna be Cat as a Boomy. Kata, actually Kata more than anything. Yes, is popping in a smoke bomb as Kata just can't get the damage. Throwing in the poison, nice back to back. Just maintaining the calm points and letting the bleeds do work against Kata as Des is looking to catch himself a little bit of a reset. Do they actually get a clean one? I think with the dots that's on you, trying to see if you can fanatize the Druid out. Bats to follow, but Kata is going to go for big damage, just trying to get the dots back up and running. That's a little unfortunate. Big blow to the enemy coming out, but Des with a dress, getting a shot. That's going to be Vendetta, getting sunk into Kata. Does go for a disarm onto the Rogue. Could be Cloak of Shadows. Does go for a blind. Kata doesn't sit that blind at all. Long. Des might have to go for a Cloak of Shadows. They're just looking for go for a bit more cutting spree. Cloak of Shadows looking to get aggressive now that the dots are taken off. Maybe he can set himself up another kidney shot, just refreshing the dots. Torches up onto Kata. No cloak to stop. It does get hit with the what do you call it? The roar. That's going to be a big star starters. I think Des might be done unless they have nothing. Unless they had anything, it's going to be over. As Assassination, I'm trying to figure out what they were trying to do. Maybe they were like hoping that the dots would do a lot of the work here, boys. All right, well, it looks like Lenoa might be up next as a, what kind of a Warlock we're looking at. It is going to be a Destruction Warlock based on the Infernal Kata, not wasting any time. Just got to get it aggressive in there, just getting those dots traded with the Warlock immediately. Be getting those Star Surges in as well. Going to be a Fell Puppy for Lenoa. Now, what kind of a setup does Lenoa run? Do they run for the Giga Infernals? That is a question. Or do they run Conflict and Strive just for more tankiness? As Destro. I really do wonder, but it looks like Cat is just trying to maintain the dots on Lenoa. Get his Star Surges here and there. Infernal trying to drop in. Is that going to be maybe cooldowns for Lenoa? It looks like it is cooldowns. Popping Dark Soul stability, though. That's going to be Cat trying to see if he can bail out of there. Just using all the mobility to keep trucking, and Lenoa is taking a little bit of that dot damage from a distance. Looks like the dots are starting to catch up. The shooting stars are making it work. So it looks like for Kata, he might actually be able to play the long game here. Going to be a port for Lenoa using the gateway. Kata is still trying to create some line of sight here. Going in for maybe CC onto Lenoa, getting him with a Mortal Call. Barskin is available. That's going to be a full fear. Does not break. Chaosball. This is a flying. That's going to be first Chaosball for Lenoa as the Infernal does disappear. A bash onto the Warlock, and Kata needs to maintain the dots on Lenoa. Needs to be going for the Star Surges as much as possible and getting those falling shooting stars onto Lenoa. As it looks like the dots from Boomy are actually doing quite a bit of work. That's going to be Shot of Fury onto Kata. Does miss it. Lenoa is going to go for what looks like a Warlock house and get himself a little bit of a self-heal rolling here. That's going to be the roar back for Kata. What is it? Incapacitating Roar, right? I'm pretty sure the name is Incapacitating Roar. Unless I'm wrong. I feel like I never really get to see that utility you use much often because you don't really see a lot of bear druids really using it. Even though it can be kind of useful. I wonder how good bears are going to be going into Shadowlands, because they always look kind of fun. Going to be a big silence for Kata right now. Does get a lockout on Lenovo. Looks like a shot of Big Star just coming out. Even through Reflect, just blasted him out. Looks like Reflect came out maybe a little bit too late. Looks like the Boomy is actually able to beat Assassination Rogues, destroy Destruction Warlocks, but looks like Warport is going to be a second Destro to come at him. It's going to be a back-to-back Destro. This man can somehow handle double Destro back-to-back. He might be in a really good spot. Trying to get a regrowth, going to be Warport. Trying to land an Immolate. Looks like not going to be happening right now. And Kata's just going to have to wait it out a little bit. Does already have the dots on the Warport. We're going to be hitting that 5 minutes dampener, boys. So for Kata, any kind of self-heals are going to start to get worse. Summoning Shawara. Can Shawara actually do anything to a Boomkin? Because you are technically in a Boomy form. Technically, I think, do you even count as a beast? Can you be seduced as a Boomy? Because I don't think you can be seduced in Boomy form, but I could be wrong. Maybe that's like another thing, one of the, I guess, the polymorphs. You can't seduce a polymorph technically with a druid, unless it could be wrong, honestly. But Kata's gonna try to see if he can bait a port out of Warport. Does get a port out of Warport with the Casebolt to follow first. Casebolt for Warport right now might be able to really make that Casebolt really fly and combo, but looks like he's gonna be Kata getting the hell out of there immediately. Does burn a Barkskin for it. Still has plenty of defenses to work with, has offenses too, with a Silence, with a Thorn, so it should be quite a lot for him to work with. Did Warport just summon a pre-Infernal? He does summon Infernals. So he could be going for like a big Infernal summon. I'm going to be checking out Warport right now. Summoning Infernal right here with a Cataclysm. Shadow Fury onto Kata. Does he go for more Infernals right now? One Casebolt, second Casebolt flying. Quite a bit of damage. Summoning even more Infernals to follow. It looks like Kata is under quite a bit of pressure. Needs to get the hell away from these Infernals. Maybe Typhoon them out of the way. It's going to be even more Infernals at this point. Just the... It's turning up the heat right now. Warport is turning up the heat. He doesn't even touch Kata. Does pop Thorns just to maybe get the Infernal slowed and off of him for a second. Still taking quite a bit of pressure. Succubus CC does go through Boomy form by the looks of it, so I guess that answers our question. But it's going to be Kata trying to see if he can get the hell out of the Warport. Porting in with a Gateway Mortical into Kata. Oh, it's going to be tricky for Kata with a Typhoon. Just trying to disrupt the cast from Warport as best as they can. Going in for a little bit of a self-heal with the Guardian Affinity. Friends in regen, and looks like it's a quite a good recovery, especially at 11% dampen. It still keeps it trucking. Going to be Warport getting interrupted on Chaos, actually. So that was a nice lockout, but Kata couldn't really take advantage of it. Big bash to Warport. Huge Surge, as big as the cast available right now. Warport actually might be out of options. Drain Life needs to come out immediately, otherwise he's in a bad spot. Warlock Hellstone, has that been used already? It looks like the Shooting Stars and Dots are just going to take him out. It looks like Kata just decimating these Destro Warlocks back to back, knocking off the Paladin. Right as Mary's trying to go up in there. Mary getting slowed down before he can get a Hodge or anything. So Kata's at least able to disrupt him. Mary didn't pop any cooldowns. It's going to be disarmed to Mary. Still just chugging at Kata. I think he's hoping for that Hodge. Going to be a Barskin immediately out of Kata. Does Mary go for big damage? Big Hammer is hanging above him. Our pal is still this busted good. Going into the actual pre-patch, or was that only a PTR thing? Big Hammer does a bit of damage. Kata did have a bunch of layers and layers and layers of skin. There's a normal skin, Boomy skin, which gives you armor, as well as Barak skin. Mary getting hit with a Cyclone to follow as Kata makes some distance. I really do wonder, Boomy versus Retribution Paladin. I feel like the Retribution Paladin wins every time, but I do want to see Kata and how well does he do. Gonna be Incarnation for Kata, but gets hit with a Hodge. And that's gonna be a full Hodge. Mary just might be able to take him out. Barely any health, does pop in a bear form. Friends in regen needs to come out. 90% damage. He does get a bash on a trinket out of Mary. Trying to see if he might be able to get the hell out of there with the mobility. Mary does pop Hand of Freedom. And Kata looks like is able to make a breakaway. Mary still has wings, so it's going to be a lot of pressure to Kata as being as productive as he can with that mobility ASAP. Trying to see if he can get a knockback into Mary too far out though, but does still have the mobility to keep himself at bay. Looks like Mary is going to be without any kind of wings. That's going to be a big hammer, but he takes the hammer away. Trying to power shift through all the slows. The final verdict might have connected. Still, the hammer does quite a bit of damage with that final verdict, so just two abilities that even get to reach him. Maybe a judgment or two was enough to get quite a significant damage out of it. Going to be able to shrink it out of Kata. As Mary getting hit with a bit of slows with those swords. Can't actually catch up to Kata. Cyclone to fall, catching up on a bit of those regrowths. 24% dampening. Disarmament to Mary as a fair swarm. I guess disarms him in his eyes. I guess it destroys him in the eyeballs. How does a fair swarm disarm somebody though? Guess he just get confused. Maybe caught up in all the player colors. Big wings for Mary. I think it's going to be down and done for the Boomy. But he did as well as he could. Kata came in and really just blew it out of the water, taking down Destros. And had himself quite a duel against a Paladin gonna be Drag. Up next as what looks like an Enhancement Shaman, actually. Yeah, this man is Ghost Wolves. He got himself Ascendance, Bloodthirst. So this man should be playing that Enhancement here. Get a stun into Mary in the opener. But that's going to be a big Sunder. Just looking to maybe get away. Got the Wolves. It's going to be a big hammer hanging over his head. Going for a big burst right now with Ascendance. Does he get an interrupted to Mary? If Mary stops to cast anything, he might be in a bad spot. Drag getting quite a bit of freebie damage from range. Mary can't really do much about it except for self-heals. Word of Glories are flying back to back. Does get what looks like a Wings proc. Able to make those Wings do something. Unless he was expecting for Drag. No, it looks like it was a random Wings proc. Maybe a Vision of Perfection. Major. Which is potentially, that's what's going on. Drag did go in with a lot of cooldowns just now. It's going to be a Hodge. Bust out her pretty quickly with a Trinket. Trying to see if you can tussle with the muscle that is Mary, who still has plenty of defenses to work with here. Big Sunder by Drag. Is he going to be able to do much? Shield of Vengeance. Drag is concerned about it. Is going to bail out of it. Hex onto Mary. At least trying to stop him from being able to heal himself. So that's a good choice. But I don't really know if Drag has the survivability or the sustain in order to outlast Mary, because Paladins are more about wings and big damage. And now that Drag doesn't have a Trinket, he might be in a really bad spot. The best you can do is maybe hopefully ground a Hodge as Mary goes in for damage, and maybe stop him with a Sundering into a Hex. And then just outrun him. Because he was trying to fight him without wings and he felt like he was losing it. I guess Mary could just outlast him, outlive him. At a 42% dampening. Gonna be a big Sunder onto Mary. Does he know he does not ground the Hodge? Does Mary go for the big damage here? Looks like Mary does not have wings, so that was a boon for Drag. Going in for a bit of a bloodlust right now. Trying to see if he can make some plays here. Versus Mary. Is that going to be enough damage? With a big damage by Mary. With a hammer. With a final verdict. Wall available for Drag. No! I don't even know if he died to the hammer just now. I think he just died and the hammer slams down. Because the man is dead. Cracker is going to be up next. On team 2. Big damage on a Mary. Burns through on the Zotric so fast. Cracker is in a very bad spot. Bubble for Mary. Does go for a big leap. Does he catch up to Cracker? Take him out. Trying to get big shattering throw. But takes him out before the throw comes out. Oh my goodness. Dream is going to be up next as a Frost Mage. Trying to see if he might be able to slow down Mary though. Polymorph as Mary trying to get behind the pillar. Man, that was some burst out of this Paladin, dude. That was some burst right there. Cracker, does he just bubble so he can't heal off of Cracker? Or Cracker can't heal off of him. That's going to be big shatters available for the Frost Mage right now. Throwing down a Malin to Mary. It's probably going to be actually, I got nothing. He can't heal himself. Shield of Vengeance as a small shield. Ray of Frost to continue going. Frostbolt, I think Mary's done and done. Not a lot of healing can be done unless he has Word of Glories to spam right now. Trying to flash a light. Get interrupted. And there goes Dream taking him out. And I forgot that Poe was still the last man left on team 1. I forgot that this guy is still a thing. Because how long the other duels have been going. Gonna be a root immediately by Dream. Try to go for a poly. It looks like Poe is just going to backflip into him within a prison. Looking up to get a stun or something. Charging at him. Does he get the big does he play the mortal strike effect with a charge? Because maybe he does, because he charged into a stun immediately, trying to go for a big dressed. Trying to see if he can IB. Metamorphosis leaping in on top of Dream with a stun to fall right after. Big counter strike damage with Crucible double back to back. And is trying to continue to keep cleansing him of any buffs as best as possible. Poe though, there's gonna be quite a lot of under a lot of pressure. If you cannot get the mobility, maybe Icebug coming out for Dream right here. Does get a polymorph. Staying alive barely. Dies. I don't even know what killed him just now, but look at he had himself Icebug, but maybe he still had the debuff from the Icebug. Big burst coming out of Humanity. Big Fist of Fury. Does Poe have any answer for a short stun? Gonna be Trinket. Touch of Death. Taking him out just like that. That was just insane, boys. Kata came in as a Boomy, blasting the competition. Mary comes in, smites them all off the face of the earth, as a pally should.